everybody, it's Christina Marie Rubber, and I run a company called Christian Biz Owners on Fire, and we help faith-based and spiritual business owners who want a more fulfilling and prosperous business or ministry while putting God, their purpose, and their relationships first on a daily basis. So those of you who know our process, today we're going to be talking about the subject, why your business isn't sustainable. And I come up with this topic by people that just ask me questions, things I observe in other entrepreneurs, my clients, people that follow me. So the reason why I picked this one, then we do an educational video on it. So the reason why I picked this one is the majority of entrepreneurs, especially earlier in their development, they really manifested a job, not a business. And so by that, the business can't run without them. And part of why that is the systems and personnel really are not in place so that the critical tasks get done unless that person is doing it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm still manifesting a job, quite honestly. But it's a natural part of the development of a business to move from manifesting a job, creating a job for yourself as a self-employed person, to actually growing into a sustainable business. But to move from not having a sustainable business to having one requires you to keep the end in mind. There's a lot of different things you can do with your business at the end of when you've reached sustainability, and you want to, and they vary, and so you want to understand what that is. So the first point is, a business is not sustainable if you are required to work in the business and you are not paying yourself market rates for what you provide to the business. So this is kind of obvious. If you're giving your services at a discount to your business, it's going to be very difficult to get somebody else to do that for that kind of a discount. So you're not very replaceable if that's the structure of your business. And then the reality is there could be unexpected illnesses. You could be called to do jury duty. You could have a certain circumstances come up where you just have to take a break from your business, or you can't put in the same number of hours. Some people don't realize they need to work themselves out of a business, and I definitely was this at first. One is because they're really attached to the work they're doing. When I did this work at first, I loved it. I just didn't even want to think about not being the one providing the service or doing the work, because I thought, why would I want to do that? I really enjoy what I'm doing. They love the freedom, the flexibility of being their own boss. They're just thrilled to have their own business. They really aren't looking far enough down the road, and definitely that was my case. So what happens is you get into a profitability trap. So if you're providing functions for your business and you're not paying yourself a fair market value, you can think your business is running and it's sustainable and it's more profitable than it really is. Because if you really had someone doing what you're doing for that price, you would be under. So it creates a false sense of how healthy your business is if you're operating in it, again, not paying yourself above market price. So the second point is if your business is not sustainable, if it relies on a single or limited source of leads or clients, leads or sales, if you're over dependent on a very small number of clients, or if you have a key employee or employees with no documented systems. So here's a lot, it's just that dependency trap, because any one of those things could explode. For example, I was part of a large coaching group, and a lot of people in it had products or services that that group was ideal to market to. But I know many of them got almost all their clients from being a part of that group and marketing to that group. The problem is a couple things. The fee for being in that group, you can be held hostage to that. That can go up, and if you don't have any other source of clients or leads, and that person raises that fee and you are not in a position to raise your fees accordingly, your profit margin's going down, or maybe you can't even sustain it. Maybe you can't get enough clients from that resource to pay their fee and run your business. Same kind of thing can happen if you're dependent on too few of the clients. If you're in that situation and then for some reason you lose those clients, you may go from having a very prosperous situation to having zero cash in. So it's very important to be careful about making sure you're not creating that kind of setup for yourself if you want to be sustainable. Lastly, there's a big push. I think it's changed a little bit since technology has become so much more user friendly and a bigger player in running a business. Used to be a big push on you can't if you can do the task, if you could pay someone to do that task, you shouldn't be doing it. You should be doing other things and whatever. So get assistance basically, or hire out different parts of your business. The problem with that is, I know I had the problem. I had the assistant doing things and I didn't know how to do it. And that person was fairly resistant in terms of documenting how they do things. So if you're trying to maximize your time and your genius by outsourcing, if you get in a place where you have a very small number of people or even just one that's doing outsourced work and you can't jump in and do it if you need to, again, you can be held hostage to that. That person can have a health problem, just like you could. That person could take another job and not give you much notice. And if you don't really have everything in place where you can plug somebody else in, you really don't have a sustainable, you are at risk of not being sustainable. The third area is if the business owner is the CEO, or if you have a CEO, and you don't understand all the critical elements of the business, how they work and have documented systems, you don't have the data and information and capacity to make timely and accurate decisions over time. So either you're the CEO and you're running a business, but you're not running it in a way where all of the elements of the business are being handled appropriately. You know that you're getting data from those, you know the systems in place. You really can't make great decisions if you don't have that. If you're flying by the seat of your pants, or maybe you're really good at sales, but you're not good at some other things, so the sales is going fine, but the other parts of running a business aren't going that way because you're not putting the attention to it. Or maybe you have somebody else doing it, but you don't have it documented. You don't really know exactly how they do what they do. Again, you could lose them, they could leave, they could take your business if you don't have some of the things set up right. So you're in business, it's all, things are always changing, and you're really weakening your chances of being sustainable if you don't have access to the information you need. If you're not doing regular planning processes where you would use that information and make decisions on that, because you need to be able to adapt, to change, to see patterns, and that's what helps businesses survive and be sustainable in an ever-changing environment. So to conclude, an unclear or ambiguous vision about where you're really going with your business does not cause these concerns to rise to a level where you understand the importance of addressing it. Like I was in my early phase, I didn't really want to not work in my business. I really saw no reason not to. I never really thought about some of these other factors and how it really could shut down your business if you didn't tend to them. Every business is vulnerable, but with the knowledge of why sustainability is important and a strategic plan to get there, you are making changes in bite-sized ways to get there. It's really hard when you're not sustainable to just overnight be sustainable. But if you have a roadmap, where your strengths are, you know where you're still vulnerable, where you don't have those things in place, and you have some way of maintaining what you need to do in your business and building up that sustainability system, that's the way to go. So as you complete those steps over time, your business becomes more pleasant to operate. You have fewer fires that you're putting out. You can really focus on the bigger picture and really work in your genius. This is what I help people do. I help people who have great businesses that really want to be proactive. They don't want to just have their business die with them. They don't want to have some unexpected end to their business that they didn't plan for and they weren't working for. And they want to enjoy being a business owner. And they want to be fulfilling whatever, have their business fulfill for them whatever they want to do, whether it's sell it to their kids or sell it to somebody else or be something they do ongoing. But if they couldn't do it, it could still go on without them, if that's what they want. It all gets down to vision. So I would love to help you with this. And if you're ready to start looking where you want to go and how I might be able to support you, you can do one of my paid Manifesting Your Vision sessions. And to set that up, just go to talkwithchristina.com. Thanks so much.